post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake. The Kentucky Derby is this Saturday, and the best place to watch it in Lincoln is at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane. Watch the race on any of their 30 TVs while enjoying a mint julep or one of their high-end bourbons. Try their delicious wings or handheld sandwiches like the Turkey Melt, Liquid Gold Hamburger, or the brand new Chocolate Chip Cookie Skillet for dessert. There's one place to watch the Kentucky Derby in Lincoln. That's Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane. This is it, Husker fans, your final chance to see Nebraska baseball at home this season. It starts Tuesday, May 6th with a huge rivalry matchup against Creighton. Then it's a Big Ten showdown as the Huskers host Michigan May 9th through 11th. Every game matters and your support can make the difference. Great seats are still available, but they're going fast. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is a glorious Friday edition of this hopefully fine program that you hopefully enjoy. All right, you guessed it, loaded show today. Lots to talk about. Nebraska now has a third kicker as of yesterday. We have a new quarterback, at least committed. He's the first commitment to that class, right? 2027, the first commitment.
Yeah.
We already have a top 10 class, by the way, just based on one player. So that's awesome. 2027. All right. So we're going to talk about our new quarterback commit. We're going to talk about our new kicker. What does that mean for John Holt, Tristan Alvano? All right. I told you it was coming. It's time to dive into the NBA just a smidge. LeBron has had a lot of things thrown his way this week. And I've got a lot of things that are interesting that I've seen and procured together. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion about Mr. LeBron James, a man who I believe absolutely belongs on Mount Rushmore. Again, well, I've said in the past, my 5 players outside of Jordan, no particular order, Jordan, Kareem, probably my 1-2, actually. That's still my 1-2. Okay. And if you're going based off stats, well, Chamberlain's got to go here. If you're going based off of championships, I mean, Russell has 11, Bill Russell. To me, it's a conglomerate of everything. So my next 3, and you can put them in any order you want to make your Mount Rushmore. So it goes Jordan, Kareem. And then the next 3, any order you want, Kobe, Magic, LeBron. At some point, I'll have to narrow it down because Rushmore only has 4 faces. But for now, those are my top 5. How about that? Okay, so we're going to chat a little bit about LeBron. So I got nothing but love and respect for him. There's certain things that I like. There's certain things I'm like, oh, not so crazy about. We'll chat about that, have a little bit of debate, discussion. Should he retire? Should he come back? Et cetera, et cetera. All right. 5 Huskers who upped their stock a ton during spring football. We're going to talk about that throughout this program as well. I briefly touched on Bill Belichick. I think I literally spent maybe 30 seconds on it. I said, that's all we're going to spend on it. You remember that like 3 shows ago, maybe Monday or Tuesday? It's a story that just won't go away. And the whole CBS behind the scenes stuff was really, I was about to say interesting. It was weird. Interestingly weird, weirdly interesting. So we'll chat about that just a smidge. All right. As you can imagine. Loaded show, ladies and gentlemen. The Adam Carriker Show, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Although next week will be an exception. I'll come back to that in just a minute. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch. Come join us. We strive to be slightly smarter than the average dumb guys. 1 out of about every 5 shows, we achieve it. So about every other week, because we do 4 shows a week. All right. Jake gets about 1 out of 3. I get 1 out of 5. So maybe it averages to 1 out of 4 once a week.
Yeah, I would think that.
All right, what you're going to hear, what you're going to get, unique insight, unbridled honesty. Producer Jake and I are going to have a lot of fun in the process. What you're going to hear, Husker sports, college football, and sports in general. All right, let's start right off the top. Nebraska's got a new kicker. I want to make sure I say this right. Cunanan? Do you know how to pronounce it specifically?
I've not heard it yet, but
I know.
Yeah,
that's the tough part. I usually wait till, if it's a crazy name, I'm like, I'll wait till, if it's Smith, I got it, you know. But if it's C-U-N-A-N, hold on, C-U-N-A-N-A-N, Cunanan. If I'm mispronouncing that, I do apologize, Kyle. I will work on nailing it specifically. Basically, I'm going to wait till somebody else says it right, then I'm going to copy them. All right, add Cal transfer portal kicker. All right, Kyle C, I'll call him for now. The Huskers did yesterday, 5'10", 195 pounds, 9 of 15 on field goals in 2023 at Charlotte, 5 of 5 on field goals in 2024. All right, played in 3 games and then redshirted. He will compete with Tristan Alvano and John Hull for the starting kicker's job here at the University of Nebraska. Oh, I forgot to circle back to why next week's different. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be the schedule next week. My birthday is Tuesday. DP and Steve Taylor have graciously decided to swap days with me, so they will be rocking and holding Tuesday down. I will be here Wednesday. All right, Jake's here every day. Mr. No Days Off, Jake Bakoven. But that's why the schedule will be slightly different next week. I should mention real quick, Grant Segrin also, who entered the portal, former Nebraska walk-on offensive lineman, also got a portal offer or a offer from the University of Wisconsin as well. Now, back to the new kicker that we have. When you found out we had a new kicker, because you told me, you're like, oh, we got a new punter. And then you realize it's a kicker. Throughout the whole offseason, I'm like, man, we got a great kicking battle. We got 2 very talented kickers. John Hull, yeah, he struggled early on in the season last year, but then he made 8 in a row. And even the one he missed against Iowa, it wasn't a great snap and hold. So it's the order of operations. You got to get the snap, you got to get the hold, you got to get the protection, and then the kicker can kick. So the Iowa one, I kind of gave him a little bit of a mulligan on that one. So I was like, all right. And then you got Tristan Alvano, who has all the talent in the world. Healthy, coming back. One of those 2 is going to win the job. Now we got a 3rd kicker in the mix. What does that mean to you, Jake?
Well, it's definitely interesting. Like you said, I mean, when I saw it, I was just kind of thinking, because I saw kicker, and I was like, well, they need a punter.
Yes.
So maybe that's kind of what this is, and I looked into it. He's a kicker, so it's a little bit strange. We'll see what they do. I think they're going to add a punter at some point, obviously, for that rugby-style punting they're going to do. But it looks like, you're just kind of adding depth here. And we'll see. Maybe is this a move you make if they say, hey, the 105 is official? Maybe not. Maybe they're starting to kind of look forward and see this guy's as good competition. Tristan Alvano, for what it's worth, did miss another, and kind of bowed out early, I should say, missed a kick early in their field goal competition, which they held Jacob Hull out of. So I think Jacob Hull's kind of their, like they've done with a lot of those guys, where maybe, I don't know, there could have been some other factor in there. Maybe felt like he's the clear starter. So we'll see. I mean,
you were talking about the Husker games on Saturday,
yeah,
right?
Husker
yes,
games, yeah.
Yes.
So we'll see. 14-20 in his career. 5 of 5 last season. Was replaced by another kicker there in Charlotte. So he went 5 for 5. I think, why did they bench him? The other guy went 11 for 11, including 3 for 3 beyond 50. So there's something in the water there at Charlotte. They've been pretty good with kickers. But then he transferred to Cal during the winter portal. And then, Cal can't keep football players. We know that. They didn't have his major, construction management. So he's transferring here.
Is that what it was?
Construction management major, yeah.
I figured he just got tired of flying all the way across America every time he has to play a road conference game. I figured that might factor in a little bit. Maybe that's part of the reason these guys are like, I got to take like an 18,000-hour flight every time we want to go play half our conference games or any away game. You can't tell me that doesn't hurt them. Like, if I'm USC and UCLA, and even they got to travel a long ways. But I'm going to be like, hey, at least we got Nebraska and we got Iowa. It's only halfway across America. You're going to go literally all the way across America every time you play an away game in conference. All right, in his 2 seasons, we've elaborated on a little bit, but here we go again. In his first 2 seasons at Charlotte, all right, Kyle made 70% of his field goal attempts, 14 of 20, with a career long of 49 yards. In 2024, he played in just 3 games, redshirted, as I mentioned earlier, was 5 for 5 with a long of 31 yards. All right, 2023, he was a true freshman. So he's still got, 3 years of eligibility left, okay? But in 2023, as a true freshman, 9 of 15, long of 49 yards. All right, he tied a school record at Charlotte with 3 field goals made in back-to-back games against Florida Atlantic and in overtime at Tulsa. He's also a kickoff specialist in the past, especially at Charlotte as well. In 51 attempts over the course of 2 seasons, he's recorded 22 touchbacks, so just under 50%, with 4 being kicked out of bounds. All right, see if anything else I got here. All right, so talking about John Hull, played in all 13 games in 2024 with 10 starts as a place kicker. He went 10 of 15 on field goals. Again, he made 8 straight at one point. He had a rough start. Then he made 8 straight, and then I know we had an extra point blocked in the bowl game versus Boston College. We had a punt blocked. Did we attempt a field goal that game? Do you remember?
I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, look at that up real quick, because I don't think he had a missed field goal versus Boston College, unless I'm just blanking and incorrect on that, which is, about a 51% chance that's happening. All right, now he did tie a Nebraska record with a 54-yard field goal at Ohio State, tying for the longest field goal in an away game in school history. If you remember, Alex Henry versus Colorado, 57 yards at home is the all-time longest field goal made record for Husker football. All right, Hull ended the season making 9 of his final 10 field goal attempts. It's just that one miss at Iowa. Again, the snap wasn't completely on point that day. Now, Alvano, an Omaha West Side product, started Nebraska's first 3 games at place kicker in 2024 before missing the final 10 games with a groin injury. All right, he went 3 of 4 on field goals and was 12 of 12 on extra points. Alvano kicked in last weekend's Husker game event. Jake referenced that a minute ago. Now, we do have yet to fill the void left by Jack McAllister. They have a plan. Something tells me they have a plan as far as the rugby-style punter. All right, McAllister transferred to Nebraska in December after spending the past 3 seasons as a starting punter at Washington. He is now at Purdue. Just as a little recap, Nebraska head coach Matt RHULE said Eckler will bring in a rugby-style punter by the start of fall camp. And I quote, "We'll bring someone in this summer," end quote, said RHULE as of last April. And I quote again, "We go to school until May 10th, UNL's final day of classes, and then guys report back for summer sessions June 2nd. We obviously have some things in the works, some plan A, plan B type guys," end quote. The lone punter currently on the roster, all right, freshman Camden Cook. Yes, he is the son of Husker great punter. All right, current special teams assistant for the Ravens, Mr. Sam Cook, who we interviewed last year during the season. Did we attempt a field goal versus Boston College?
We did not.
We did not. All right. So he made 8 in a row, 9 out of 10 to end the season. That's Hull. Again, the one miss versus Iowa, where it was kind of the order of operations, didn't go completely correct. What this says to me, obviously they think highly of the kicker coming in. And you could be adding depth. I don't know how many kickers you realistically need. Maybe they're anticipating someone hitting the portal as it is. Maybe they're anticipating, hey, we're going to be able to keep more than 105 players, because that absolutely impacts this decision. If you got to get down to 105, you're not planning on keeping 3 kickers. 2 at most. Now, maybe there becomes a situation within here, because we've seen teams do it in the past, depending on how this all unfolds. Does somebody hit the portal? Do all 3 of these guys stay? Okay, up and through fall camp, where you have a short range field goal kicker and a long range field goal kicker. We've seen that in the past. Maybe somebody is your backup field goal kicker, but he's better at your kickoffs. So you got a field goal kicker and a backup field goal kicker, but then you've got a kickoff specialist as your backup field goal kicker. It's interesting. I was a little bit surprised by this. I'm curious to see how all of this unfolds. One of these three's got to be pretty good at the end of the day. We got to find one out of three who can be a pretty good field goal kicker for us. Wouldn't you think, Jake? Just the odds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it is interesting. I think Hull definitely, like you said, got to a point where if his teammates can help him out, you feel pretty good about him. Like, he's pretty reliable. That's why I don't know there's necessarily a competition. I feel like Hull has been by far the most consistent. Alvano, his career has just been incredible to watch, because obviously the big kick over there in Memorial Stadium, Omaha West Side, gets the offer from Matt RHULE. And, since then it was kind of like, okay, well, he's the future kicker, and got his chance to be that guy, and just has not been able to live up to that. And then, we'll see. A third kicker certainly adds things to the mix. But I did want to ask you too about the Husker games. We didn't report about a whole lot of on the field stuff. There was a block extra point with the new special teams coach, Mike Eckler. That did not make me go, ooh, maybe we'll block extra points. It made me go, oh no, more blocked extra points on that side.
Okay, so hold on. During the live football aspect of it, there was a blocked extra point?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I was not aware of that. I was paying attention. I was also jibber-jabbering with a lot of former Huskers and current Huskers and coaches. So I completely and utterly missed that. I loved being there. I loved interacting. But part of it was, hey, man, I just want to visit and get to – I hadn't talked to Josh Bullock in 20 years. And then I see these other guys, and I'm like, hey, I want to chat with this guy or that guy, or whatever the case may be. So I completely and utterly missed that. Now that I know that, who was kicking the extra point?
I'd have to go back. I mean, again, this was
the field goal.
The game's of
you said it was blocked, though. It was blocked, though.
Yeah.
So that's on the protection or the snap, unless the kick was just incredibly low. I don't have that info, obviously. I was not paying very good attention, apparently. No, right out the gate, it doesn't make you feel great. But keep in mind, the ones and twos were not in pads on that particular day as well. All right, here's something else to keep in mind. And I've seen this over the past 10-plus years, at least about once a year on social media. And every time I see it, I think it's great. So here we go. Girls can love Ryan Gosling all they want. But don't forget that he was an absolute liability at cornerback. And remember the Titans. I love that. All right. Not to be all over the place, but Nick Saban. I'm looking at his record during his tenure at Alabama. Nope, this is including LSU as well. His entire coaching career in the SEC, so LSU and Alabama combined, his record versus every team currently in the SEC. Do you think there is one team, a single team, that has a winning record against him, Jake?
No.
Let's see. Nope. Who do you think is the closest to just being 500 if you could pick one team?
Well, it's not fair because he coached at LSU for a few years, but I think they give him the most fits at Alabama.
Close. He has an overall record of 13-5 versus LSU.
Okay.
12-5 versus Auburn. So technically Auburn, hold on. Auburn was a little bit stiffer on him.
Yeah.
He beat him one less time, even though he lost to him the same amount of times. Arkansas, he was 17-0. Auburn, 12-5. LSU, 13-5. I don't remember him losing to Mississippi State. That must have been some early LSU season. I definitely don't remember that at Alabama. 16-1 versus Mississippi State, 15-2 versus Ole Miss, 10-2 versus A&M. I will never forget the Johnny Manziel game in Tuscaloosa. I mean, that's immediately what I think of. 8-1 versus Florida. I think they played each other back-to-back years in the SEC championship game. And each year, the first time they played, Florida beat Bama, and then they went on, played Oklahoma, mollywopped Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. Then the next year, Alabama beat Florida, and then Alabama went on to win the national title. Florida went on to play Cincinnati with Brian Kelly as their head coach in the Sugar Bowl, and they mollywopped Cincinnati. But I do remember the one time Florida beat them. 8-2 versus Georgia, 4-0 versus Kentucky, 4-0 versus Missouri. Oh, how'd I miss this? 2-1 versus South Carolina. There you go. The less you play him, the less you're going to lose to him. That's what that comes to. Tennessee, 16-1. So I grew up, and you would have too, when Tennessee was pretty good at football. Peyton Manning, T. Martin. Like, every year, Tennessee and Florida in September was a huge game. And I'll never to this day understand. Like, Florida would always be 2-0, their third game of the year, and Tennessee would always be 1-0, but they'd always come off a bye week to play Florida. And I never understood why you wanted a bye week that early on. I always thought that hurt them, okay, at that point in the season. And Florida won way more often than they lost versus Tennessee back then. But the third Saturday in October every year is dedicated to Alabama and Tennessee, if you're a Vols or a Roll Tide fan. So every year, third Saturday in October, And that used to be quite interesting. And then for a long time, I was just like, oh, they're playing again this year? Ugh. Oh, it's like 49,000 to nothing already? Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm glad that that game means something again. As a non-Tennessee, Alabama, SEC fan, I miss rivalries like that. Being good, being intriguing, being interesting. It's better for college football. All right. Remember, Bama was not coached by Nick Saban this past year, so hence Nick Saban is 6-0 versus Vanderbilt. All right. So I just thought that was kind of a random, interesting fact. Is there anything off the text line? I haven't asked any questions yet. Did anybody text in anything yet?
Not yet, but I do wonder, because sometimes we go through those Nebraska. Like, Iowa just seems to have somebody in the Big Ten scheduling department that just does them favors. If I'm South Carolina and Nick Saban was in the conference for 15 years and you played him 3 times, who's in charge of scheduling there?
Man, somebody loves them. Every year, I feel like Iowa and Penn State always have slightly easier schedules than teams that are equivalent to them. Wisconsin's is always insanely hard or insanely easy. I feel like it balances out over time, but I feel like Ohio State's always got a fairly tough schedule, but it's nothing too crazy. Michigan's kind of similar. I feel like we, for years, especially when we first joined the Big Ten, it was just like, all right, new kids, Nebraska, we're the Big Ten. You're going to play New England. You're going to play the Browns and the Ravens. I felt like that was our Big Ten slate every year. It was always like Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. Like they were like, you're not going to come in and win a championship right away. All right, well, point taken. How long before you think? Random question out of nowhere. How long before you think Nebraska makes a CFP game? I was going to ask you about the Big Ten championship game, but the CFP is easier to make and frankly means more.
Yeah, it does. That's what I think at college. I think it'd be harder to say at the Big Ten championship or to break that streak.
That's why I didn't ask that.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening before they make the college football playoffs. I venture to say that's more possible, like you said. So hopefully, I would say not necessarily this upcoming year, but the next year.
All right, fans. There's the first question of the day. How many years before you think Nebraska makes a college football playoff? Now, there's going to be fans who say this year. That's cool. There's going to be fans who say never or not during their lifetime. Okay, fine. If that's your honest answer, all right, hopefully there's a certain amount of years that you're thinking in there, somewhere between 0 and never. All right, hopefully there's an answer somewhere in there. It's interesting because Nebraska can make a deep run if they make the college football playoff this year, next year, the following year. They can make a deep run, win a national title. Let's say 5 years from now, Matt Rhule's built a monster. You know, we've got RHULE and Latif, and I mean, I'm not going to try to list every guy that pops into my head. Trae Taylor. We got all these talented guys, and we make a deep run, and we've got some stability at the coaching position as much as you can have in today's era of college football, and we make a deep run and win a national title. We could look back 20 years later than that, so 25 years from now, and Nebraska may have never won a Big Ten title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unless they change and go to divisions or eventually pods or whatever it is, or it's crazy. It's wild. Like Oregon literally got punished for winning the Big Ten championship. You got Lane Kiffin, like I said yesterday, flat out came out and said, "Oh, well, we don't really want to play in the SEC championship. It's better not to." Then you look at Ohio State, and you look at Penn State, and you look at all these teams that didn't play in the championship games. The Final Four teams that were left last year in college football, not one of them played in a college football or a conference championship game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we'll respond to your answers and chat a little bit of King James.
Are you a fan of local wine, craft beer, cider, or spirits? Don't miss SIP Nebraska's 12th anniversary celebration, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park, and join others who share your passion for great drinks. Enjoy unlimited tastings, live music, delicious food, artisans, and lawn games as you celebrate Nebraska's vibrant beverage industry. And when you find one you love, you can buy a bottle to take home. Choose your ticket package at sipnebraska.com. The SIP Nebraska Spring Festival, a Blur event, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park in Ashland.
Billy Currington is back on tour. Friday, June 13th, Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneer Park. Live in concert. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a four-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carriker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th, and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
With UPT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com, Facebook, X, social medias, podcast platforms, Amazon Prime, or simply turn your radio dial to 93.7. All right. Also, join Main Street Beatrice for their annual Beer, Wine, and Spirit Festival tomorrow from 4 to 8 p.m. with VIP entrance at 3 p.m. Enjoy an afternoon of live music and unlimited tastings of Nebraska beer, wine, and spirits and at Envision Landscapes and Garden Center. There's something for all palates, and you only pay your entry fee. Food and snacks are available for purchase at the event, as well as off-sale beer, wine, and spirits for vendors. Tickets are only $25 or $30 at the door. This fun day is for adults 21 and over only. Buy your tickets at mainstreetbeatrice.org or go on the Main Street Beatrice Facebook page. All right. We are supposed to give away 2 tickets right now. Is that correct there, Jake?
Let me double check here.
All right. Well, it says on the sheet, and right now we're giving away 2 tickets. All right. Here's the deal. We're giving away 2 tickets. All right. Call into this number. We'll just make it easy. Caller number 1. All
there you
right.
go.
Call this number 402-464-5685. Hey, I recognize that number. It never changes. All right. You will get 2 tickets that you have to pick up at the station today before doors close at 5 p.m. for the Main Street Beatrice Beer, Wine, and Spirit Festivals. All right. Jake is checking on something. So we are going to get back to your questions and respond to your responses to our question as soon as we're able to. Are we good to go with those questions now? All right. So you had an interesting fact, but then what did people respond with? Let's just see what the fine folks at home had to say about our question.
Still no responses there, but I did have like I said, with the whole conference talk about winning championships and stuff. For a long time, Nebraska was on top of the college football world of that. They've got 46 combined conference titles. And of course, in 1999 being the last one, only Oklahoma has more. Of course, the Big 8 battle back and forth is either Oklahoma and Nebraska. Oklahoma has now 50 conference titles. Nebraska's still second nationally with the amount of conference titles they have. So still waiting, but still not falling behind in that particular category.
I think Kansas basketball at one point won 8 straight Big 12 conference championships. I believe Oklahoma at one point in football won 4. And I think it's a little harder to do in football than it was in basketball at that point in time. So and we were in the Big 10 at that point. So I think that is still pretty impressive. All right. A little bit of LeBron James here. And I've got stuff that goes both ways because I've got thoughts both ways on LeBron James. Again, one of the top 5 players in the history of the NBA, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm just going to read these as I saw them. There's a few here. And then Jake and I will give our opinion at the end. LeBron James, this person said, stunk it up. Okay, in the fourth quarter of the elimination game, 5 points, 2 of 7 field goals, 1 of 3 from 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, failed to score until the final 3.5 minutes. All right. That was their take on it. Let me see. LeBron James, this was a couple days ago, has been eliminated in 5 games or less in his last 3 playoff series. And his team's record during that time, okay, is 2-12 overall. By comparison, this stat was also shared. Michael Jordan went 25-1 in his last 26 playoff series of his career. LeBron's 2-4 the past 5 years and also missed the playoffs once. Okay, that particular person put that there is no comparison. I do think there is a comparison. I personally take Jordan. Okay, let me see. Now, this is the other side of the coin. LeBron James, 2025 playoff stats. 25.4 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 5.6 assists per game. That's darn near a double-double every game. All right. Let me see. 1 steal per game, 1 block, or 1.8, almost 2 blocks per game. Led his teams in rebounds, steals, and blocks. All right. Here's another perspective. Let me see here. Most 20-point games by a 40-year-old. Most 30-point games by a 40-year-old. Most 40-point games by a 40-year-old. Most points, rebounds, 3 points made in his age 40 season. All right. Most points, rebounds, and assists in his 22nd season of any player who's played 22 seasons, which obviously isn't a lot, and that's to be commended. I still don't understand why people will use longevity against him. Okay. Now, one person literally went through year by year by year of his recent playoff appearances. 2019 missed the playoffs. 2020 NBA Finals champs. That was the bubble bubble year, so to speak. 2021 eliminated in the first round. 2022 missed playoffs. 2023 swept in the Western Conference Finals. Let me see. 2024 eliminated in the first round. 2025 eliminated in the first round. Okay. Here's another one. 25.4 points per game, which I mentioned this postseason, is the highest scoring this past series versus Minnesota, I should say, is the highest scoring series by a 40-year-old in NBA history. So you can see, I'm trying to be like, hey, these are both sides of the coin. These are both sides of the equation here. And here's one final thought from Anthony Edwards, and I quote, "I've never seen so many people be so happy to see an athlete fall more than LeBron. His whole career, he's been hated on constantly and slandered to no end, to the point where when he retires, nobody would have appreciated his greatness. I'm glad I will be one who did," end quote, Anthony Edwards. So, Jake, I want your take here in a second. And fans, anyone who's listeners, text in. Let us know your thoughts. Okay, what's kind of your thoughts on LeBron James and his career so far? So my son asked me this morning, hey, is he going to retire? And one thought was, well, he wanted to play one season with his son, at least a season with his son, Bronny. So he got to do that. So maybe he's done everything he wants to do. Maybe he calls it a day. And what a heck of a career it is. Maybe he says, I don't want to go out like this. And I don't know if the Lakers are a championship contender team next year. Possibly he goes somewhere else. When I look at LeBron James, and I mentioned this before, the way, and ESPN is what pops into my head because they spearheaded this movement, but the way ESPN and then sports coverage is kind of gone is it's turned into more of a debate type format in a lot of places. So in a debate type format, one person's got to take one side of the argument, one person's got to take the other, and it puts the athlete in the middle. And it makes you a controversial figure without your choice, without you having a choice in it. And that really started when LeBron entered the league. And I remember he was 21, and I think it was Game 7 versus Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. He completely disappeared. And Skip Bayless was like, he doesn't have the clutch gene at the age of 21. And so for me, there's things that frustrate me. I was never a fan of stacking the Miami teams, okay? Out at LA, it kind of looks like he became the GM and forced them to draft his son. Don't know for sure. Sure seems that way. Not crazy about the flopping and things of that nature. At the same time, I pointed this out before. I remember when he first came in. He was kind of a happy-go-lucky, obviously very young kid right out of high school. Highly touted, lot of pressure, dubbed the king the day he walked in. All right. But he was kind of a happy-go-lucky guy, insanely talented as we know, and had no problem distributing the ball to his teammates, or he could score. Now, early on, he struggled in big games, struggled in the fourth quarter. Again, he came right out of high school, and he doesn't have the clutch gene, doesn't have this, doesn't have that. So part of me kind of agrees with that. Part of me thinks he wanted to be more unselfish. I've always thought, had he been covered differently, maybe he would have approached certain things differently over the years. To me, he's one of the top 5 greatest players in the history of the NBA. When you think about all-around players, I think of LeBron and I think of Magic. Now, LeBron was a better defender early on, rebounded more, but Magic was the point guard. He literally started games at 6'9" for the Lakers, obviously as a point guard, but as a center as well. The versatility that both these guys displayed was absolutely crazy. So for me, I've always looked at LeBron and I'm like, man, I wish there was a little bit more of a true fighter, competitor, killer spirit in there. I can't help but wonder if the happy-go-lucky guy who was happy to pass the ball to his teammates, if they had the better shot, and then that was kind of used against him in a couple of NBA Finals formats or Eastern Conference playoff series that didn't go well, if that turned that into a little bit more of anger, frustration, okay? And then I did not like the stacking of talent. You know, I think it was a 1, 2, and 5 picks in a particular NBA draft with Bosh, Wade, and James. Maybe it was 1, 3, 5, 1, 4, 5. They were all top 5 picks all on the same team. He did go to Cleveland, beat a 73-win Golden State team, helped lead the Cavs in that NBA Finals comeback win over a 73-win Golden State team. Otherwise, we're talking about that Golden State team as potentially, and they're already in the discussion, greatest NBA team of all time. The 96 Bulls with 72 wins have the Finals championship, whereas that Golden State team with 73 wins did not win the Finals championship. He also had Kyrie on that team as well, so there's some other good players, but Jordan had Pippen. I guess my takeaway is this. The one thing LeBron has missed to me, and I wonder how this would have been different? Had he been covered different? Because the coverage of sports completely changed when he first came in. To me, like the flopping and the things of that nature always drove me nuts. And I've always wondered, had he been covered differently, maybe he would have matured and saw things differently, because I always thought he kind of missed that killer instinct. Like Kobe, that killer instinct. Jordan, that killer instinct. Just, to me, that helps separate those two, along with amazing athleticism, like just an incredible work ethic. For me, LeBron, for him to be able to play this long, this effective, is basically unprecedented. It's very impressive. 22 years. He's like only like 6 months younger than me. I'm 40. I'm going to have my birthday on Tuesday next week. I'll be 41. So it's insanely impressive. To me, the longevity is an impressive thing that shouldn't be held against him like I feel some people hold against him. Okay, when you start getting swept in series and you don't make series and you get, Lakers in 5, like Shannon Sharp would say, he'd pick the Lakers in 5. Well, it was Lakers in 5 versus Minnesota, but not the way he anticipated. By the way, how much do you want to talk about Shannon Sharp, Jake?
Not too much.
Yeah, you got awkward. All right. My point is simply this. With LeBron, I just feel like he missed that killer instinct because his physical talents and his work ethic, I don't think anybody surpasses him in either. Just that Assassin's Creed that Kobe and Jordan and some of the other guys had or have, you know what I mean? But that's also part of being a little bit more unselfish and things of that nature. I don't know. I just kind of wonder. I hope he comes back next year. I hope whatever team he is on, they make a little bit deeper playoff run. And I hope people remember him a little bit more fondly than some people do. Some people think he's the GOAT. I hope that's what happens. And then people can remember him that way. It's kind of like when Brady was playing, there were certain people that would just bash him. And I'm like, when he's done, you're going to look back and say, we ain't seen many guys play like that. And now that's how he's remembered. Maybe that's how people will look back on LeBron once he's done. When an athlete's career is over, sometimes people will look back more fondly than while it's still going on, because they'll want to point out the flaws and the holes and everything else. To me, LeBron is a top 5 great player. There were certain things that I wasn't crazy about. Instead of, hey, let's all get together and just, dominate everybody. Why don't we compete and see who's actually better? Let's not flop. Let's be a little bit more aggressive, have a little bit more killer instinct. That being said, his success in the NBA is about 50,000 levels above whatever I've ever done in anything. So I have nothing but respect for that. But that's kind of my conclusion on it. I'm not a fan of when people just blast him and make fun of him. I also, because I hope they appreciate how long he's been so good. At the same time, there are things that I'm like, man, I'm not crazy about that. And I wish there was a little bit more of a killer instinct in there. Like yesterday I talked about, I wanted intensity throughout the NBA that is at a higher level than what it is right now. And that's the biggest thing that bothers me, is a lack of an overall intensity and competitive spirit and fire. I wish there was more of a killer instinct inside of LeBron. I don't know. Does that kind of make sense, Jake? And what are your thoughts on this? Do we have anybody who's texted in their thoughts?
Just Husker Peace says LeBron deserves the criticism. He called himself the king before ever playing in the NBA. Called himself the GOAT, the biggest flopper ever, biggest crybaby in the game. Crybaby in the game. He's soft, and I cannot show him the respect his playing ability deserves. So there's certainly those out there that do not enjoy LeBron too much. I think his longevity is incredible. I mean, 21-time NBA All-Star, 21 times.
That's crazy.
That is ridiculous. But to your point kind of about killer instinct, is sometimes it kind of goes back to scoring. And a lot of times when you talk about greatness, like, are you the best in this period of time for one particular thing? And that's why LeBron always, you can argue, one of the best all-around players.
Yes.
But he only led the NBA in a category, specific category, twice. Points per game once, and then assists per game one time. Michael Jordan led the NBA in scoring. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 11 years. So that killer instinct, oftentimes you're talking about scoring. Keep in mind, he's not just that either. He had 3 times he led the NBA in steals too, Michael Jordan. So it kind of depends on what you're talking about. If you want to talk about an overall game, all that. LeBron, for what it's worth, one way or the other, has kind of been the story of the NBA. I would say, you could argue since 2003, but Kobe kind of had his time till about 2010. That's when LeBron made the switch. And so you always have the argument of, well, since he's been the story of the NBA, his success always comes with one or two top 10 players in the league around him. I mean, a lot of people giving him credit for that championship in Cleveland, which they should, but still Kyrie and Kevin Love were two of the top 10 players in the league. So it's always going to be an interesting conversation. I always side with Michael Jordan because the killer instinct thing, like you kind of said to me, just like points in bucket. I mean, that's a huge deal. But he's one of the all-time greats. Never liked his decision to go to LA though, so I'll keep cheering against him.
I absolutely side with Jordan as well. Like, to me, it's Jordan and Kareem 1 and 2, and I don't want to say it's kind of easy, but for me, it's kind of easy. It gets a little bit muddied after those two, in my opinion. It depends on what you want to value: championships, points. So to me, it's a combination of everything. I mean, just keep in mind when they beat Golden State, it was Kyrie that hit the shot at the end to win the Game 7, and Ray Allen hit a shot to win. It was a Game 6 or 7 against the Spurs in Miami.
Yeah.
So that factors in as well. Jordan was also a 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Like, if somebody said, and I'll never forget, I was in D.C. and Raheem Morris, who's now the head coach of the Falcons, he was our DB coach in D.C. It's in the off season, so guys are a little bit more chillax, and I think I was recovering from my first knee surgery, one of 18 billion, and we're in there and it's during the NBA like playoffs, kind of like about this time of year. I forget what exact year. And we were like, all right, if you had the number 1 pick all time in NBA history and all the players were in their prime, who would you take? And Raheem said LeBron. And I buried him for it. Now, this was 10 years ago. I buried him with one phrase. I said, so you're going to be the guy that passes on Michael Jordan in his prime. And you knowingly make that pick. That will be your legacy forever. What do I know? He's now the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. But to me, if somebody said, Adam, you've got the number 1 pick all time in NBA history, who would you start a franchise with? To me, it's Michael Jordan unequivocally. There's something to be said for and I phrased it with LeBron. He had no problem passing the ball as long as his teammates had a better shot. He's unselfish. Being a little bit more selfish isn't a bad thing, because Kobe, Jordan, other great shooters that I just played with when I was growing up, they could miss 15, 20 shots in a row. That game's on the line. Give me the ball. Especially if I'm open. There's no question. But their confidence never wavered. They didn't disappear in the big games. They didn't disappear in the fourth quarter. They didn't lay on the ground for like seemingly forever if they got knocked down, unless they were truly knocked down. You know, it's just those little things. What I'm trying to say is I hope people do appreciate, because right out the gate, he was compared to Jordan, which I never thought. I thought it was not asked to 7, asked to 8. I thought it was asked to 9. Now he was dubbed the king right away. I forget if he dubbed himself that or if it was SportsCenter. I remember his SportsCenter commercial. He's like sitting at the ESPN desk. He's got the big king chair. He looks around the corner, says something. I think it was Scott Van Pelt or whoever. Like, did you switch chair? Oh, he was sitting in a big, gigantic king chair type throne. And LeBron peeks around the corner and goes, you take my chair? Because he's just sitting in a little normal chair. It was obviously, what they were doing, a little play on the king, and he did take his chair. So there's a little bit of that. I think it was a lot driven by ESPN. We need debate shows. We're not running highlights, ESPN SportsCenter top 10 anywhere near as much anymore. This is where we need to go, and this is the guy we're going to focus it around. And I wonder how much that's affected things. And I've always kind of like felt for Braun a little bit in that way, LeBron a little bit in that way. It would have been better, not so much flopping, not so much laying on the ground. I remember he got carried off the court one time in Miami or something like that. Those things don't help. But I do hope people appreciate just how great he was and still is. And I hope he makes at least one more season, and I hope whatever team he's on makes a deep playoff run. That's legit what I hope. But to me, when people are like Jordan or LeBron, I mean, first of all, Jordan versus anybody, I'm taking Jordan. But to me, it's an easy decision because of the killer frickin' instinct. If you look, LeBron's last 14 games in the playoff, 2-12. Jordan's last 26 NBA playoff series, his teams were 25-1. That's a huge difference. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that segment went way too long. Does anybody else have anything else, though?
Let's see here. Steve, 2049 says MJ is the GOAT. LeBron is behind Kobe and Kareem at best.
No one argue with that. I put Magic in there. Like, to me, the two best all-around players were LeBron and Magic. LeBron's probably a little bit better rebounding defense. Magic. If you had to pick between Magic and LeBron, Let's say Jordan and Kareem are gone. You got the number 4 overall pick in the draft. Okay, so it goes Jordan, Kareem, Kobe. Who would you pick? Would you pick LeBron or Magic?
I'd probably go with LeBron at that point, but it wouldn't be by much.
That's a tough one for me, dude.
Yeah. I'd go with Magic. Well, Magic played with Kareem his whole career too. That would have helped.
Oh, that's true. It's a tough one. I'd go with Magic. I don't know why. Just what my gut says. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
The Kentucky Derby is this Saturday, and the best place to watch it in Lincoln is at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane. Watch the race on any of their 30 TVs while enjoying a mint julep or one of their high-end bourbons. Try their delicious wings or handheld sandwiches like the Turkey Melt, Liquid Gold Hamburger, or the brand new Chocolate Chip Cookie Skillet for dessert. There's one place to watch the Kentucky Derby in Lincoln. That's Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We've got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Yo, this is Flavor Flav, and I am coming at you with one of my flavor faves, Raising Cane's. Those hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce hit hard and gets your boy feeling right every time, just in time. Know what I mean? So when you're looking for flavor fast, order in a flash, online or on their app. Yeah, boy, Raising Cane's. One love.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. This is going to be a short, brief, but hard-hitting sports roundup segment before we hit hour 2 on the Adam Carriker Show, where we're going to dive into Trae Taylor. Is he the biggest commit Matt Rhule's ever had? All right, 5 Huskers who upped their stock during spring football, and the weirdness that is Bill Belichick dating a woman who was not born when he was 50. Does that matter to you? Do you care about that subject? Because it just doesn't go away. And I think the behind the scenes from the CBS interview last Sunday, like I tried to address it once for 30 seconds, but I think the behind the scenes of that interview has just intrigued people.
The age thing doesn't really bother me. I mean, that happens. That's happening everywhere, whether people like that relationship or not. It's just the overwhelming presence that she is becoming in his life is a little bit what's intriguing to me.
Yep. All right. Before we get to that, quick sports roundup here. Potentially the biggest portal news of the year is Florida's Kennedy Martin, who is the 2024 Player of the Year candidate, enters the transfer portal. We're talking volleyball. One of the best players in America last year in collegiate volleyball's in the portal. Now, this is via Emily Eman on X. Some thoughts on where Martin might end up. Now, does Nebraska necessarily need her? No. Do you go after someone like this because you don't like if you can get someone like this, you find a spot for them? Absolutely. You go after them. So here's her thoughts on where Kennedy Martin might end up. Wisconsin needs an opposite bad after Gracie Lopez tore her ACL. Sheffield told me before the spring match, that's their head coach, that was what they needed to get from the portal on Nebraska. Nebraska doesn't need her and has the pieces as of now, but I still can't imagine them not trying to get her as their NCAA title chances would almost be a given. She says that's her opinion. Penn State absolutely needs an opposite. It would have to throw some big money at her. Texas and Kentucky. All right, all the teams that I just mentioned, when we brought Lincoln Arney on, he's a Husker volleyball insider for Nebraska volleyball. These are all Final Four teams, according to him. All right, Texas and Kentucky would be in conference, and she'd have to sit out a year, so that seems unlikely. So the most likely teams, based on what Emily is reporting here, is Wisconsin, Nebraska, Penn State, all Big Ten teams. Yeah, so the odds of her going to an SEC team aren't great, by the way. She wants to sit out a year, I guarantee. All right, Jake, real quick before we move on, what do you think the odds are that we add her? And according to Emily, the title odds would basically just be a given at that point if we add her. All right, what do you think the odds are we add her, or does she go to Whiskey or Penn State?
Well, it would just be a random guess, but Nebraska being in this, it is always fun to see them because they can get the top transfer portal kids every year. So, with Nebraska volleyball, I'm a little bit more optimistic than some other sports were on Nebraska. So I would say, kind of a 51% chance. I feel pretty good about it.
I love that. I'm going to go 49 simply because Wisconsin has a gaping need at outside or opposite where she plays. And Penn State has a lot of needs. The defending Big Ten and national champs have a lot of needs. And the money is probably going to be relatively equal. Now, if she wants to go somewhere and create a Miami Heat back in the day effect, and I know it's not going to make Husker fans happy because it'd be our squad, that'd be Nebraska. But if it's a little bit of playing time being a factor as well, I would imagine she'd go somewhere else. So I'm going to go 49.4. I went as high as I reasonably could. 49.4, as high as I reasonably could. All right. Here's the rest of the sports roundup. The NFL fined the Falcons $250,000 and defensive coordinator Jeff Albright $100,000 for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the NFL draft. All right, Paige Beckers. You've got Caitlin Clark. You've got, who's the girl out of LSU? I'm blanking. I'm completely blanking. Reese something.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I can't help.
No, we all know her name. I'm just completely blanking. But Paige Beckers is, all right, coming into the NBA. And I think she's going to just led UConn to a national title. Number 2 seed, beat 2 1 seeds along the way, and just dominated everybody. The name?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, thank you. All right, everybody knows that name. My question is, how big of a star do you think Paige Beckers can be in the WNBA? Can she be up there and rival with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? What do you think, Jake, real quick?
That's tough. I mean, I think just because that rivalry kind of helped that Caitlin Clark's on this whole, kind of whole new level. So I don't think so. I mean, if I'll put it this way, if there was another Caitlin Clark, I think we'd know it.
Not Caitlin Clark, just kind of like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark-esque, just like in the conversation. Like, there's not another Jordan, but like LeBron's in the conversation. That makes sense. Do you think she's in that
another big name? Yeah.
I actually think they can create a 3-headed monster if they want to in the WNBA, and they need more attractions and attention and people in the seats paying attention to the game is what I mean. And so I think Caitlin, I think Angel, and I think Paige. They can make the WNBA very, very interesting and doing what they just did at UConn throughout the tournament. I think people had kind of forgotten how good Paige was, the number 1 recruit in the entire country coming out of high school. She kind of got overshadowed by Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. I think people have been reminded just how good she is. All right, a couple of trivia questions for you, Jake. Then we're going to head to break. The only, and this was a while ago, that's your hint. The only G5 quarterback to beat Alabama and Auburn in the same season was, I'll give you 3 guesses.
A group of 5 quarterbacks?
Yes. You get 3 guesses.
Trying to think back in the years, like mid-2000s long ago?
Farther.
Okay, jeez.
I'll give you one more final hit. We've actually discussed this guy on yesterday's show very briefly. Stop Googling. Stop Googling. Are you Googling?
I'm not Googling
Okay.
Yet. Oh, man. These are, I like multiple choice because I'm not very good at just throwing names out there.
Okay. I'll give you multiple choice, but then you only get 1 guess.
Okay.
Dan Marino, Brett Favre, Joe Montana. Trying to think of another one just to make it a little bit more challenging. Troy Aikman.
Let's go with Brett Favre.
You nailed it. All right, he beat Alabama and Auburn the same season at Southern Miss. All right, and this isn't a trivia question. This is an interesting stat that I saw today. Remember Ichiro Suzuki played for the Mariners?
Sure, yeah.
Came over from Japan. All right. In his 10th at bat of his career in the majors, he got his 3rd ever hit. So his batting average hit 300. Okay, Ichiro got his 3rd Major League Baseball hit in his 10th at bat, and his batting average never, a decade plus later on throughout his MLB career, never dipped under 300 for the rest of his career.
That's insane.
So insanely impressive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Hour 2 when we come back.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
The Kentucky Derby is this Saturday, and the best place to watch it in Lincoln is at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane. Watch the race on any of their 30 TVs while enjoying a mint julep or one of their high-end bourbons. Try their delicious wings or handheld sandwiches like the Turkey Melt, Liquid Gold Hamburger, or the brand new chocolate chip cookie skillet for dessert. There's one place to watch the Kentucky Derby in Lincoln. That's Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Yo, this is Flavor Flav, and I am coming at you with one of my flavor faves, Raising Cane's. Those hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce hit hard and gets your boy feeling right every time, just in time. Know what I mean? So when you're looking for flavor fast, order in a flash, online or on their app. Yeah, boy, Raising Cane's. One love.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Everton plays Ipswich Town at 9 a.m., followed by Arsenal versus Bournemouth at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, May 4th, Brighton plays Newcastle at 8 a.m., followed by Chelsea versus Liverpool at 10:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with 82 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome into hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're going to discuss Trae Taylor. Is he Matt Rhule's biggest commit of all time? Most important, however you want to phrase it. Bill Belichick has a unique relationship. Kind of, I don't know. I feel like some people are maybe even a little bit concerned for Bill, Coach Belichick. All right. And the 5 Huskers who upped their stock the most during spring football. That's what you're going to hear here on hour 2 in the Adam Carriker Show. In the meantime, time for your daily friendly reminder. The inaugural Carriker Chronicles football camp this summer, July 9th, here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The camp that is for the kids. Learn more and to register at carrikerchronicles.com. Autographs included, T-shirts included. Eric Crouch, Amon Green, Zach Weger, Kenny Wilhite, and yours truly will be there. Some of the best coaches in the local area as well. All are welcome. Boys and girls, K through 8th grade. Again, learn more and or register. Tell a buddy if you're so inclined. The camp is for the kids, the inaugural Carriker Chronicles football camp. Learn more and to register at carrikerchronicles.com. All right, so we discussed this a little bit yesterday, Jake. Nebraska lands their first commitment. This was before the announcement. Nebraska lands their first commitment in the 2027 class, and it's a biggie. 4-star quarterback, the number 3 quarterback in the entire country, according to 247 Sports. Trae Taylor chooses the Huskers over Texas A&M, LSU, and Illinois. Trae Taylor, a 4-star, all right, committed to Nebraska. The number 11 player in the 2027 class, the number 1 player in the state of Illinois, and depending on where you look, the number 3 or 4 quarterback in the entire country. All right, as I mentioned, we're already in the number 9 class in the entire country in 2027 with our first commit there. Off to a pretty good start. Top 10. I like it. I did think this was interesting. Trae is fairly active on X. Let's see. Somebody commented, and you're going to see this, but somebody commented below one of the announcement posts or something that was tweeted out about it or whatever. They go, LOL, say this tweet. He will be in the portal next year. Trae responded. The response was great. He goes, LOL. No, I won't. I'll still be in high school. So I thought that was a great response. I loved it. All right. And then, well, before we get to is he Matt Rhule's biggest, most important, however you want to look at it, recruit that he's ever had, did you watch his actual announcement and how that unfolded?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of how he did it with putting on, because he's from Illinois, putting on the Illinois hat and tossing it aside, putting on the Nebraska hat. Then he put out an apology video later on, talking about how the chucking of the Illinois hat was a little bit disrespectful. I have my take. You go first, Jake.
All right. Well, it's not completely uncommon for these announcements to go about that way. So that would be, it's been going on for 2 decades where they're slinging hats different ways. So I don't necessarily have too much of a problem with it. Now, it is a choice to do the state school as the one that you are specifically going to throw away, because you have to play in that state for the next couple of years.
Fair point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the one. That was the one thing I maybe would have avoided. But I wonder too, like in that, is a Brett Bielema offended or are Illinois fans offended? I don't. If I'm Brett Bielema, I say, yeah, whatever. We're going to continue to recruit you because we were in your Final Four and we need you, so we're not going to be too hurt by it. Illinois fans got considerably offended by it, and now maybe there's a Nebraska-Illinois rivalry developing on Twitter. But so it's kind of somewhat standard. I mean, that's kind of what I expect out of announcement ceremonies now.
I mean, first of all, it depends on which team you're a fan of. If you're a Nebraska fan, it's this is awesome, chuck that thing. If you're an Illinois fan, that's disrespectful. How dare? Like, stop being offended by everything. Like, I've seen this meme a million times, or this thing. Hey, jokes used to be funny instead of things that offended everybody. Now, if I'm an Illinois fan, okay, so I try to put myself in other people's shoes. So if I'm an Illinois fan, or let's say it was a Nebraska hat, and then he chucks the Nebraska hat, puts on the Illinois hat, would I be like, oh, he just disrespected Nebraska? No, I wouldn't. I can honestly say that. Had he chucked it, walked over, stomped a mud hole on it, yes, I'd be offended. Had he dropped it on the ground and stepped on the hat, I'd be offended. He's having fun. This is what happens. It's no different than you show the shirt says whatever university, you take it off, you got the actual university you're committing to underneath, you drop the shirt on the desk or the floor, maybe it slides off the desk to the floor. Even if I'm an Illinois fan, or even had he done this to a Nebraska hat, I'm still like, no, we didn't get him. That would have been my big takeaway. I didn't get him. We didn't get him, not that, oh, he disrespected everything. Now, you made a point I'd not thought of. If a high school Nebraska kid does that to a Nebraska hat and then goes to another Big Ten team, do I feel differently about it? Probably not. I really don't think so. I think we live in a world sometimes where people almost look to be upset. They almost look to be offended. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I had somebody message me the other day. They were upset about something I put on X. And I went back and looked at the tweet. And I even showed my wife. She goes, actually, this is kind of like you're defending that guy. And so I messaged him back. I said, did you actually read the tweet? His response, and if you want to see it in the break, I can show you who it is and his exact response. He goes, no, I just had people message me about it. You're getting upset at something you didn't even read. Like, sometimes we live in a world where people just want to be offended. They want to be upset. We live in a world sometimes where the more upset I am, the attitude is the more upset I am, the more right I must be. And I'm just like, okay. No, the more upset you are just means the more emotional you are. It doesn't mean you're right, wrong, anymore one way or the other. So as far as the actual commitment, and he put out an apology video later. He seems like a very classy kid. When I saw him on the sideline, the way he conducted the apology video, which he didn't have to do. But to your point, he's going to see all these people for the next 2 years. Go to school with them, play against them. So I get why he did it. Seems like a very classy kid. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. All right, now as far as him coming, and it could be argued that Taylor is possibly Nebraska's biggest quarterback recruit commit in the modern recruiting era of college football. Now, some folks might explain that it's Dylan Raiola. Hey, you can go either way with this. One person might say, well, his dad played here, so Dylan's more likely to come here. Trae had no prior relationship that we know of with Nebraska, and he still chose Nebraska over these other schools. So maybe that's a little bit more why it means a little bit more. That doesn't devalue anyone or anyone else or any other commitment. Regardless of which one is bigger or a little bit more important, I think this is exciting for multiple reasons. First of all, we still got 2 years that other coaches are going to come in and try to change his mind. Just like had he gone to Illinois, I'd be like, hey, Matt, you still got 2 years to call that kid and change his mind. So no different. So we got to get him actually on campus in 2 years. He's only a sophomore right now, going to be a junior next year. So that's first and foremost. Number two, and I diatribed this yesterday, he's our first commit. Now when Matt RHULE walks into a room, one of the top wide receivers in the country, hey, look at who we already got. You want him throwing you the ball? Yeah, you do. All right, and it's more likely, and then all of a sudden you get a wide receiver commit, and then you walk into an O-lineman's room. Hey, look at what we've got going here. You want to block for a guy like this? You want to be a part of something like this, an offense like this? Holgerson's our OC, or Raiola's in year 2. We've got these, like, we're going to do some good things this upcoming fall, and then we're going to keep the train rolling. By the way, in that quarterback room, Dylan Raiola, TJ Lateef, Marcos Davilla, all of those guys are 4- and 5-star players. Dayton Raiola's coming in. Now you got Trae Taylor, loaded quarterback room. I would be surprised if we're sitting here in 3 or 4 years from now and everyone's still here, because it is that loaded. But I love the competition that it's going to breed. Cream rises to the top. I hope there's legit competition for the next 2 to 3 years. Let the cream rise to the top. And if somebody's got to go somewhere else and that's what's best for them, that's totally cool. But I love the ricochet effect that this has. As far as peer recruiting, I feel like he's going to peer recruit. But as far as RHULE, his staff recruiting and saying, hey, this is who we've already got. So I think this is going to have a positive ricochet effect. I do think it says something. Hey, if one of my kids ever plays for Nebraska, I mean, that's a great thing. Whether it's whatever sport it may or may not be, if that ever happened, that's a great thing. If somebody ever says, hey, your dad played here, that's a good thing. So the fact that Dylan's dad played at Nebraska is a good thing. I do think it says something that Trae had no previous ties to Nebraska at all, and speaks even more to the recruiting efforts that they put in. They just have to continue to do it for basically 2 more years. You got any thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, all of it's just fascinating. Again, I think just because it's kind of big time recruit for the class of 2027, Nebraska's very much in this conversation of what does that mean these days. So I was just kind of looking into it. He's already signed an NIL deal with a trading card company, and they've signed a couple of 2027 kids, but could be worth somewhere around $100,000 for a sophomore. That's a pretty good deal there in college. So it's kind of interesting. Also, his parents said that part of it was going to be put to the side, like they were the ones that were dealing with the money. He was not really privy to the information of what school was offering this, what school was offering that. Again, leads me to all sorts of questions about, well, when are they getting their money? Is it the next 2 years? I mean, while he's still in high school, is that going to help? How much of your NIL pot goes to a quarterback 2 years from now? I mean, so it's all incredible and interesting to kind of break down. We saw Luke Altmaier, the Illinois quarterback, even tweet at the whole situation. So
he did. What did he say?
It's all a little bit interesting. Let me look it up. It wasn't too many words. It was just kind of like wow type of situation because he was not impressed with the Illinois hat talk.
People were highly offended by that. All right. Any final thoughts before we go to break? And then when we come back, we'll talk about the 5 Huskers who upped their stock the most during Nebraska spring ball. You got any other thoughts there?
Well, I'll just say this real quick because it is interesting. If you track Matt RHULE in his quarterbacks, at Temple, it was pretty much P.J. Walker, 4-year starter. At Baylor, is pretty much Charlie Brewer, 4-year starter. In each of those cases, it was the first year was kind of trying people out, then land on that starter. At Nebraska, we know somewhat of a similar situation. Supposed to be Jeff Sims, ended up trying 3 different guys out next year, Dylan RHULE. So it kind of keeps going down this same type of path that has worked before for Matt RHULE. So that could be good. Interesting set, though. Matt RHULE has never had a first or second team quarterback in college at the conference level.
So he still struggled with the quarterback situation at Carolina. I know he was frustrated with the owner out there. Okay. So you got to factor that in as well. Makes the comment about Shadur and how he done unequivocally or whatever he said. He was very definitive, take him 3rd overall. Part of me is like, I think he was just being really, really nice and diplomatic. He's got to prove himself when it comes to first or second team conference quarterback or a quarterback that is really, really good. Got a lot of talent in that room right now. Seriously. Latif, when I saw him at the Husker games, because I did pay some attention, he looked really good. That kid's got a bright future here at Nebraska. I did think it was interesting when Trae said he got his first offer. He said, I've been waiting to do this, announce what team he's going to, since he got his first offer in 7th grade. 7th grade, he got his first offer. Didn't say what school it was, but got his first offer in 7th grade. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We shall return.
Market is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Everton plays Ipswich Town at 9 a.m., followed by Arsenal versus Bournemouth at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, May 4th, Brighton plays Newcastle at 8 a.m., followed by Chelsea versus Liverpool at 10:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with 82 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We've got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, the Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. And the place to watch is at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane in South Lincoln. The Derby starts at 5:57, but there are races and fun before that to be had at Liquid Assets. Bring your finest attire and fancy hats. Jake, you got a fancy hat?
I do not. I need to get one.
I might have to go get one as well. All right, 23 beers on tap, mint juleps, and high-end bourbon will be available to make it feel like you are directly at Churchill Downs. 30 TVs going. Let's see, 30 TVs showing the Derby, but also Major League Baseball, golf, the NBA, and NHL playoffs. Enjoy their delicious wings or handheld sandwiches like the Turkey Melt, Liquid Gold Hamburger, the Bull Market Barbecue Burger, or the brand new chocolate chip cookie skillet for dessert. I'm not going to lie to you. Barbecue burger and chocolate chip cookie skillet for dessert, that is like right up my alley. All right, Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane, just north of 27th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, Nebraska. All right, the 5 players, I mean, there was more than this. So it's a little bit of a subjective call here. But as far as the 5 players that I believe up their stock the most during the spring, I'm going to start off with one that I'm very excited about. Because I have said he may be the most important portal guy who needs to step in and make a difference right away, and that's Elijah Pritchett. Now, a little bit of that, if I'm being honest with you, because Matt Rhule said he still has a lot to work on. I'm paraphrasing. I don't have the quote right in front of me. Said he's doing some good things, a lot to work on. The ability, the talent is there. Part of that's a little bit, he's already projected to be a first-round pick next year. Number 21, number 22, based on which way too early NFL mock draft you're looking at. The talent, the ability is there. Again, just finding consistency. But you start to hear and you start to see things. I feel like this is a guy who's come in and you feel like he's doing a good job already. We're going to know a lot more in the fall. We're going to know a lot more when all the O-linemen are healthy and ready to go and compete in that room. And we're really going to know a lot more in Kansas City versus Cincinnati. But so far, this is an individual who seems to have upped his stock, in my humble opinion. What say you, Jake?
Yeah, it's interesting, and just kind of going through over the years, trying to think like, well, he'd be the most highly touted offensive lineman for Nebraska since when? If you go interior, obviously Cam Jurgens comes to mind. I was thinking Spencer Long, but as far as tackles, just been a long time. So it's really interesting to see. Like you said, I think when I think about his stock rising, it is kind of seeing those mock drafts, but also anybody that I've talked to that have seen him are all amazed by his size and his physique. So maybe part of it's just kind of getting your eyes on him, but that's enough for a lot of people for his stock to rise this past spring.
So I would say the most talked about offensive tackle to come in since Leiden Murtha, a guy that I played with and went against every day in practice. Murtha was ranked as the nation's #1 offensive tackle prospect by ESPN recruiting analyst Tom Lenning. Murtha was one of 3 2004 Husker recruits who participated in the U.S. Army All-American game. He was also a shot putter in high school. It just says that right there, so I throw it out there, random stat. Now, Leiden Murtha is one of the most talented offensive linemen I've ever seen. I forget how tall he was. Is 320, 325, 6'7", 6'8", could run, could move. I want to say he ran like a 4'9" or 4'8", 40. The dude was an athlete, could move, and had a lot of physical gifts. When it comes to Pritchett, they're built a little bit different. Like Leiden was a very lengthy, tall guy. I mean, Pritchett's a big dude. Okay. Very physically put together very well. Not built quite exactly the same. But when you look at Pritchett, there's an impressive factor, okay, when you just look at him. It's physically impressive to look at him. We kind of knew that coming in when he came here, when he transferred here. Can he put it together? I mean, when you look at what he did at Alabama, of all the 5 offensive linemen there, struggled the most, okay, at least statistically. Now, he's used to playing against elite pass rushers. So that's a good thing. He comes in with a lot of experience, a lot of talent, a lot of ability. Can he put it all together? All right, everyone seems to have liked what he's done so far. Just got to keep developing, improving. Cortez Mills, wide receiver Cortez Mills, with Hardly Gilmore going back to Kentucky, it creates a big opening in that room. And it's not like Hardly was just guaranteed a spot. But he was obviously going to be in that mix and highly thought of, which is why he came here after they'd already brought in 2 transfer portal wide receivers. Cortez Mills is a guy that Matt Rhule mentioned on signing day back in December and specifically said him, Dawson Merritt, need to come in with the mentality that they're going to play. sooner rather than later. Again, paraphrasing, of course, throughout the spring, he seems to have impressed people, shown up. A lot of ability. This dude's explosive. He's going to be fun to watch. The question is it sooner rather than later that he can make those impacts on the field? With a guy like Cortez Mills, you got to like what you've seen so far. There's a lot of talent, experience in that wide receiver room, yet there's still openings available to compete and win certain jobs within that room. What say you, Jake?
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch them kind of some of the younger wide receivers develop in that. And we saw there's kind of open practice at one point in time. A lot of the media really were impressed with the younger guys, Cortez Mills being one of those guys, Isaiah Mosey another, in those drills. So, you kind of go in expecting to see Dane Key or some of the older guys and walk away really impressed with those. When the younger guys flash, really makes you excited about the future. So like you're saying, it was just kind of a confirmation this spring that these guys can contribute. And wide receiver, that's a position you can contribute right away, coming straight out of high school. It looks like they might be able to do so.
Well, you brought up Isaiah Mosey. He's another guy on this list. So go ahead and talk a little bit more about Isaiah Mosey specifically there.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the same thing. We all know kind of his story, or at least you should, that his father has joined the Huskers coaching staff as well. So it was kind of a big get. A local guy, if you will, at least in the 500-mile radius of Kansas City, Missouri, considered a top 15 type of wide receiver in general. So, I mean, he's again, I would say even more than Cortez Mills, at least from, I wasn't able to go to the practices and see kind of the drills there. But guy like Tim Verghese, some of the local reporters were really high on Mosey, particularly what he was showing out in those drills.
All right, next on the list, Justin Evans. Now, this is, first of all, I'm not surprised. If you've listened to me over the past couple of years, I've talked about, hey, this dude is, as a freshman, with all Matt Rhule's first year, with all the offensive linemen that were banged up in the injury. Remember all the injuries we had on offense that first year under Rhule? Like, we were starting our fourth-string running back, Emmett Johnson. We had 3 different starting quarterbacks. Some of that was due to struggles, but a lot of that was due to injuries. Just to pick 2 spots, the offensive line was banged up to the gills. And I remember Justin Evans started games he played at center, he played at guard as a freshman. That's hard to do, especially at center. Like you're the quarterback of the offensive line, which sounds weird to say, but you're in charge of the audibles. You got to snap, you got to block this 350-pound guy in front of you. It's not easy to do. And then he was playing 2 positions, guard, center, going back and forth. I'm like, that's impressive. That's hard to do. Then last year, he started all 13 games at left guard in 2024. He was the only non-senior to start every game on the offensive line. All right. This is a guy that the coaches have talked about. Hey, he should be winning all these awards, et cetera, et cetera. Personally, I don't need, just go do it. I don't really want to hear about it in April, but they want to keep things, they say, positive. It's just something, we've heard similar things over the years about other players. I want to see it start happening on the field. But when it comes to Justin Evans, I'm not surprised at all. Like, this is a dude that I think has the ability to do really good things. I'm not going to use the A-word awards, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's some of those at the end of this. But for right now, he's a dude who's going to be really, really good. Potentially our best offensive lineman, unequivocally one of our best offensive linemen. You got any final thoughts on Justin Evans there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued by it because of the award type of thing you said. We've heard coaches before throw that sort of stuff out there, and usually it doesn't land. Just to be quite honest with you,
yep.
There was some hope for talk about Adrian Martinez before. There was talk about different guys, position changes were going to make them the best. Joshua Kalu kind of sticks out to me because he was supposed to be the best safety in the country according to Bob Diaco that year, and that defense I don't think it had really the best anything in the country. That season was kind of a disaster. So I'm a little bit hesitant. And then the other thing is, like, we know what the best center in the country looks like, or close to it, because you just had Cam Jurgens. It didn't take you that long ago to kind of think about that. And then you think about RHULE, his dad was the best center in the country, so we know what that looks like. I would be hesitant to put Justin Evans there, but the fact that they're talking about him taking that kind of step, and the fact that he's 315 pounds for a center. I mean, he's not very tall, but that's kind of a big center. So it'll be exciting to see what he does. Nothing in so far this year in watching him has made me feel that he is not going to live up to those expectations. It's just previous coaches saying similar things that gives me a little bit of hesitancy to get too excited about those comments.
I expect him to be a very good player. Again, I personally wouldn't use the A-word awards. Just let those things come or not. Just that's how I'd personally look at it. I remember when Frost said, Adrian should be a preseason Heisman on the preseason Heisman list, and he may be the best to ever do it before he leaves here at Nebraska. Adrian Martinez. He had started one season at that point. He's going into his sophomore season. I love I mean, what do you expect a coach to say? A bunch of negative things? No, but you don't have to go over the top with it either. Let's keep it in the realm of realism. One of the reasons I loved, I want to say it was 2008 or 2009. Florida wins the national title. Tim Tebow's the starting quarterback. They lose to Ole Miss on their home field. Do you remember his speech to the media after that? And there's a statue in front of the swamp now of him like giving that speech to the media. He talks about you're never going to see a team that works harder. You're never going to see a team that practices harder. You're never going to see a player that gives more and gives. And that's perfect. And nowhere in there was a proclamation of we're going to win this. We're going to get this award. We're going to win this title. We're going to do that. It's perfect. It was absolutely perfect. This is what we're doing. You don't guarantee an end. You talk about the process, and then you let the end be whatever it is. First of all, it's accurate, it's true, it's believable, it's real. When you talk about the end, how many wins you're going to get. When you talk about the end, how many awards you expect to have. I've never been a fan of that. Okay? Simply talk about the process. We're going to grind. Nobody's going to work harder. Nobody's going to give more. And Tebow was so passionate with it. Tim Tebow did. Like he did his Tim Tebow thing, which is part of what made him so awesome. I prefer things more along those lines. And then talk about the process and let the end be whatever the end is. All right. Jalen Gromstad appears to be the clear number 2. Did not participate in the Husker games on Saturday, at least the live scrimmage aspect of it, much like Dylan. So he appears to be the clear-cut number 2. Now, one person pointed out to me, I mean, he's already played a bunch of football. So even if he's not the number 2, like you want to give the reps to the young guys, TJ Lateef, Marcus Davia, a lot of these other guys who just need reps. How much is this really going to help him? So maybe he's not the clear-cut number 2, and they just want to give the young guys reps. My gut tells me he's the clear-cut number 2. All right, and they want to give the young guys reps. This is the dude, I don't know how you don't love him. He's the quintessential backup. He's an additional coach within that quarterback room, on that field, on that team. A guy who won a national title, the NAIA version of the Heisman Trophy. He's got some ability. He's year 2 under Matt Rhule. Dylan specifically texted him in December, said, please come back. We want you with us. So I feel like he helped his stock a ton as far as Husker fans becoming more aware of him, what he can do, and obviously earning that spot within the team. Something else I wanted to shout out. All right, Jalen won an award at the Sam Foltz Hero Leader. He won the Sam Foltz Hero Leadership Award for excellence in leadership, citizenship, and teamwork. He's just a good dude. I don't know how else to put that. He's just a good dude. Someone you want in that locker room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. When we come back, I'm going to make Jake as awkward as possible. We're going to talk about Bill Belichick and whatever's going on there.
Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln. This is it, Husker fans, your final chance to see Nebraska baseball at home this season. It starts Tuesday, May 6th with a huge rivalry matchup against Creighton. Then it's a Big Ten showdown as the Huskers host Michigan May 9th through 11th. Every game matters and your support can make the difference. Great seats are still available, but they're going fast. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Are you a fan of local wine, craft beer, cider, or spirits? Don't miss SIP Nebraska's 12th anniversary celebration May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park and join others who share your passion for great drinks. Enjoy unlimited tastings, live music, delicious food, artisans, and lawn games as you celebrate Nebraska's vibrant beverage industry. And when you find one you love, you can buy a bottle to take home. Choose your ticket package at sipnebraska.com. The SIP Nebraska Spring Festival, a Blur event, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park in Ashland.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a four-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carriker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th and overall registration goes through May 30th.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to make Jake feel awkward. What's going on with Bill Belichick? Hold on. And Jordan Hudson.
That's right.
His girlfriend. All right. Which a source close to Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson stated that Jordan uses Bill Belichick's Super Bowl jerseys and memorabilia and cuts them into crop tops to wear. The entire Belichick family is concerned about his well-being. Jake? I love making you awkward like this.
What's my commentary?
Yes, what do you got?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't like to cut up his jerseys. I don't think
I'm not
that's
asking.
very respectful.
That's not what I was asking. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? like people around him seem to kind of be genuinely a little bit concerned at this point. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, he's a grown man; he can do what he wants. So I always have to look at it from like the North Carolina football angle of it, because personally, again, you can get into relationships, those sort of relationships, big age gaps, they're happening everywhere, whether you agree with them or disagree with them, whatever. I mean, it happens. But it's just the North Carolina angle is fascinating, especially the CBS interview that happened where he had a shirt that looked like it was older than his girlfriend on during the interview. But then
that's a great line. Keep going.
But then there was kind of so they've kind of had back and forth about like they released a statement that said, well, they weren't supposed to ask those questions, and that along those lines, that's why she stood up and said that it wasn't necessarily what they were talking about. He wanted to stay focused on the book and what they were writing. And then CBS reported like, we never said anything like that. So it's just it's interesting to go back and forth. She seems, if I'm North Carolina, she just seems to be too involved.
She stormed out of the interview at one point, and they had to stop the interview until she came back in. It's interesting. Yes, we will look at it from a football aspect here in a second. If you watch their spring game, she's just kind of storming in and out of up and down the sidelines, in and out of the huddle, not in and out of the huddle, but like talking to Bill and then walking off back and forth. How is this? So let's look at it from a football perspective. How is this not distracting? How is this not distracting while this is going on in the middle of a practice, but it's supposed to be your biggest mock game of the year, otherwise known as a spring game? They apparently still do those at North Carolina. So for me, it's a distraction. If I'm playing for North Carolina, having Bill Belichick is a ginormous deal. But what is this stuff going? It's a distraction for guys on the team. With Coach Belichick, yeah, keep in mind, I've sat in meetings with this dude, like interviews before the draft. He shows zero personality. It's not a shot. It just is. He shows nothing. Nothing at all. For me, it's almost like he gets to come to college. He gets to do things maybe he didn't perceive as okay in the NFL. He's doing some of those things. He was the ultimate non-distracted, show up, be quiet, do your job type guy. And obviously there's another side to him. He's enjoying that. Okay. You look at it from a football perspective. I almost wonder if he's walking into college football, and maybe it's because everyone's younger and he views it differently, or maybe he just assumes he's going to walk in and he's just going to outcoach everybody and they're going to beat everybody. So I don't have to have the same approach that I've had for what has he coached? 40 plus years in the NFL. So I think that's what sticks out to me a little bit is his process and his approach and his mentality is obviously incredibly different than it's ever been. And so is he as focused as he's ever been? Does he just think they're just going to walk in and steamroll everybody? I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see how this pans out on the field itself. As far as off the field, I mean, they've released statements and Belichick has released statements and she's released emails publicly. And it's like at a certain point, just fade into the background, let it go, say nothing. The news cycle will continue. Eventually people will move on. And what they're really going to pay attention to is what happens on the field in the fall. Because if you lose, they're going to point back to this. If you win, everybody's going to forget. They're going to move on and they're going to forget. And you don't have to go undefeated at North Carolina. Win 8, 9, 10 games, they're going to be thrilled to the gills. So have you seen this tweet? This is from 2020. And for 5 years, this thing sporadically shows up on my timeline. Okay, the most important game in NFL history, Raiders 1963 to 2002 had the most wins in NFL history. Patriots, after this game, dominated the next 19 years with the most Super Bowls and most wins in NFL history. It was the Tuck game, the Tuck Rule game, 2002. The Raiders had the most wins in NFL history up to that. The Patriots, most wins in Super Bowl championships after that. This thing keeps coming up in my feed. Does it keep popping up in your feed? For 5 years. It just popped up yesterday. The date on it is 6/27/20. That's June 27th of 2020. You know, his girlfriend was 1 year old. He was 49 or 50. He was 50. She was 1 year old. Just for perspective.
Oh, at the Tuck game, yeah.
Yeah, at the Tuck game.
Yeah.
Part of this just annoys me. Why does this keep showing up? Part of it is I just did basic math. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. All right. Thank you for a phenomenal week, Jake. I will see you Monday. Until next time, go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the ball.